Hey everyone, Matthew Filer here. Welcome to episode number 5 of How I Draw Way of the Undead Fist, the pencil version. If you look, you'll see me drawing in a whole bunch of red pencil. As I've stated in previous other episodes, the red pencil is because it's easy to get rid of in Photoshop. Simply scan your final drawing with the inks on top of the red pencil into Photoshop, go into channels and delete all the channels but the red channel, and you'll find that you have a perfectly drawn and manicured black and white drawing without any of the underdrawings. You just have the dark ink lines of your black inks. It's pretty handy, and it's a neat little trick. If you look, you'll see that I have drawn, or I have underneath, that I'm basically drawing over a lightly sketched in thumbnail, or really just, a lightly sketched version of the drawing. I do all these drawings ahead of time. I draw them in my sketchbook. And the first thing what I do is I will do thumbnails, and sometimes I'll do even character studies, or just small little studies of important sections or important drawing aspects of the drawing, and then I will scan them in, and I have a opaque projector that I use to project them onto the final piece of Bristol board. And I do this for one reason. For the main reason I do it for is positioning. It lets me put the drawing, the figure that I want to draw, with their heads, arms, and legs all inside the little panel, and it allows me to put everything exactly kind of where I need it, so that I'm not having to redraw things a whole bunch of times because I've accidentally moved the character a little too far to the edge. It really lets me set everything up very nicely, because one of the biggest separations between I think between having a good comic art and bad comic art is where you get the figure on, is on the page, is positioning, is storyboarding, is that whole element of storytelling. It's a tremendous important part to your artwork. So I draw all the stuff ahead of time, but if you notice that it's very, very light, it's very, very not detailed. And the reason that is because I'm going to end up having to trace whatever it is I draw. I tend to keep those drawings loose. I find when I trace something, it loses whatever spontaneity, anima. It feels dead. The drawing will feel dead. And when I draw everything the first time, it always feels very alive. So I always try to save that stroke of inspiration for the final board drawing, and I really just try to keep everything simple. Otherwise, I end up doing very complex drawings that I really don't end up using, then I just end up trying to recreate them, and it never comes out as cool as the original drawing. So I saved doing the original drawing for the final version of it. And as you can see, I change things a lot. I do not keep things the same. I will draw, I will redraw. I think I redrew those legs up there on that panel 1 like 2 or 3 times. I redraw hands like 6 or 7 times. I'm really just trying to find the line, find the form, find the shadows, find really the whole drawing as I'm doing it. And this is definitely, I would say, this is the most exciting time in the creative process, aside from the initial creation process, where you come up with everything and you're like, oh, I have this great idea. We're going to do a comic with kung fu zombies. That's going to be awesome. And you start fleshing out all of your characters in your head and how they're going to be. I mean, this is the next awesome part. This is where it really kind of becomes real, and you are fully rendering and realizing all of these characters, all of these things, and it just becomes so real, not only in your mind, but also, in everything else, on paper, and a lot of times you won't see because I cut away, and this is a time lapse drawing. But a lot of times when I draw something that's so awesome, I just got to get up and walk around and like do a Rocky pose for the next for about 10 minutes. I think the more I cut that out, the faster I find it. I end up becoming as an artist. But I get very excited. This is very fun. This is what it's all about. You notice I also, as I do also redraw things, I also like to draw through elements. You'll notice that a lot of times I'll draw something and then I'll erase it, and then then over top or underneath I'll draw something else. It's important to draw through your entire work. That way you really have a really good idea of placement of where everything is going. And sometimes you'll forget about something like it's very easy to forget about where some of these poles or sticks are going, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, if he's holding the stick like behind his back, it's going to be shooting it's going to be coming out of his back at this angle here, and sometimes you end up forgetting things, and you have little bonehead moments, and you have to end up going back and fixing stuff, and drawing through things just makes everything look cool. Don't be afraid to be messy with your artwork. This is the part where you're supposed to be messy. This is the part where you're supposed to try to find things. This is the part where you're supposed to draw something and then erase it and then draw something else. Just keep at it, and as you find your drawing, and you'll know when you find your drawing, you will start to pick the lines that you really want, and those are the lines you'll end up keeping. Those are the lines you'll end up using, and you'll darken those lines, and you'll let other lines. You'll either erase other lines, or you just let other lines go. I mean, you can let. There's a lot of stuff you can kind of like just let go and hang out, and at the end of the day, you're going to go over all of this with black ink anyway. So this is really just another, like you were doing earlier with the sketches. It's another. It's another baseline drawing, and you're just. It's most of the time it's never going to be seen again, and it's not the finished product, but it is I definitely think the much more realized aspect of the comic. So, you should be very, very careful about it. You should be very, very proud of it. But at the same time, part of being an artist is knowing when to let go and knowing when to bear down and really kind of to stick with it. I wanted to say thank you for everybody. Episode number 2 will be starting next week. I wanted to thank everybody who's been supporting me on Patreon. James, Bill, Laura, and my mother. I'm going to be making special characters for you guys within the book. You guys have been my rocks in supporting me. And I want to thank you for everyone who's actually tuned in and really just read the book and been nice enough to send me messages and stuff like that. I greatly appreciate it. You guys have been keeping me going. I hope you come back for the second series, and I know it's going to be awesome. And I really just hope I'm hoping I can keep up with it. If you guys would like to support me some more, or would like to become a patron, you can always click on the become a patron button. It's at the bottom, and I will talk to you all guys next week. Everything's going to be awesome. I can't wait for you guys to see the new pages and read the new story. It's going to be a lot more in depth, and we're going to see a lot more about Hugh and the old man. And talk to you guys later, okay? Thanks. Bye.